I'm getting old now.
Makes you a little dizzy at first, but it really gets you going. Do it real quick.
You know what? That worked. I feel ready to go now. I don't know if that's good for your brain, but I like the way that gets you going.
Welcome back to New Heights, ladies and gentlemen. A Jukes original show presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. New Heights is a show now brought to you by our new sponsors, NerdWallet.
Say what?
You heard me. NerdWallet, baby. But more on them later. We are your hosts. I'm Travis Kelsey. This is my big brother, Jason Kelsey. Two cats from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, both Cincinnati Bearcats alumni. New Heights comes to you every single Wednesday, every single week with a new episode. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, and follow the show on all social media platforms at New Heights Show with one S, baby. And visit homage.com/New Heights to check out our official merch. Jason, what we got coming up?
We got a great episode, Trav.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the playoffs officially running through New Heights. And we're going to try and recap an insane week to close the season. We're also going to hand out some of our new awards, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Not right now.
But first, as always,
you guys know it.
New news.
New news.
Still the number one sports podcast in the world
on
Apple and Spotify. Also, Travis, you're starting to branch off and enter some other pod domains.
What you talk about?
We saw you this week on The Pivot.
Ooh, The Pivot.
What'd you think? How was it?
They're awesome dudes, man. Fun conversation. Yeah. Obviously doing a very cool deed about telling stories, pivotal moments in people's lives. Yeah. That either make them or break them, and it took me all the way to the end of the show. Fred Taylor asked me a question. It
took you to the end of the show to realize what the show was about, or what they were talking to you about.
To put two and two together, like the show's name,
why it's called,
and why I'm here. Yes, Fred Taylor asked me, was the moment in college the pivotal moment in my life? And I was in my head, I was like, The Pivot.
Is this what this pun is?
This is
the pun.
This is why we're here.
Yeah.
Because you want to know about that pivotal time. Yes, it actually is, Mr. Taylor. And it was the pivotal moment in my life to where I moved to tight end. That was the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not a quarterback.
That was huge. Good foresight by who was the coach that made that decision, like, initially?
Well, I mean, I was playing when I was doing the Wildcat stuff. I did put my hand in the dirt. Well, at the time, we were putting our hands on the hips when we were inline blocking.
Talk about a weird stance.
But, when I finally moved the entire position, that was Butch Jones. He told me he doesn't need a quarterback. He needs a tight end. He's got plenty of quarterbacks. So I was just like, well, any way I can get on the field, Coach. At this point, any way I can get back in the team. So shout out to Butch Jones.
Thank you, Butch.
Appreciate you, Butch.
All righty. Let's get to the fan mentions.
Shout out to the Pivot. Can't say
shout out Pivot.
Man. Ryan, Fred, Channing. You guys are doing a great thing over there. It was a fun conversation.
Yeah. All righty. Let's get to the fan mentions of the week. Another edition of parents teaching their kids how to say new news.
New news.
Awesome little submission here. We got very young kids, starting them off right in life with some new news. This is like, I don't know how old that kid is, but that's like pretty much close to an infant, right?
No, that's an infant for sure.
New news.
There we go. Little swivel chair. Yeah. That's what you like to see.
You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Little did we know we were going to be influencing the infants out here.
Yeah. Do you think new news was that child's first words?
I thought that's why they posted it, because it was.
Oh. No, I don't think that was
it's an easy one to say.
Explicitly stated.
New.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think new is a, you got dada, mama, and now new.
New.
Love you guys teaching your kids, some new hip lingo. I think I speak for both of us, and, we're still looking to sign that baby. We've been waiting to sign babies. Now that we're teaching babies how to say new news, I think we can officially get into the signing baby business.
Just give me that magic marker. Don't give me that Sharpie. No Sharpie.
We also got a big Yeti sighting in Vegas.
Yeah, we did.
Which I think is a very accurate assessment of your chest hair. Have you ever thought about shaving? Have you ever thought about shaving Big Yeti in the hair?
Like it being, you could read it.
Like what's that? 40-year-old virgin when they just wax Big Yeti into your chest hair.
Dude,
I think you got to do it.
I'm not about the 40-year-old virgin.
We got to make this image happen.
My eyes are. I'm tearing up.
Already tearing up.
It. I can't. I cannot imagine. I think I did my back hair one time.
You waxed your back hair.
I waxed my back hair. Yeah, and I was bleeding.
You were bleeding.
I was bleeding. I put on a shirt, and somebody told me, "He's like, you have random red spots on your back." I'm like,
was this a certified professional waxer, or was this some rinky-dink operation?
I just got sensitive skin or something, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Stuff you don't know can happen with waxing.
Well, he was bleeding in a 40-year-old virgin too.
Was he? Mm-hmm. Oh, his nipples. Nipples were bleeding. That's right. Hey. Can't go waxing nature's thermostat there. That's not got to keep them babies sensitive. If you want to have any idea what temperature it is. New Heights road trip artwork. This is probably my favorite fan mention of the week.
It's interesting. It's very detailed.
It's got a very apocalyptic feel. I don't know what is going on that led us to this moment in this piece of artwork. But I dig it. For some reason, we have major either dirt or eyeshadow all over.
We just conquered
the regular season. That's what it's doing, right?
Yeah.
We got the mummer's hat in the back. We got the beer in the back. We got an eagle flying with a Lombardi trophy.
Lombardi in the back, too. We got two Lombardis up there.
Confetti all over the place. This is a really nice piece of art.
Done. It's well done.
It's giving me, for some reason, I'm getting major Escape from New York vibes. I don't know if it's because I kind of look like Snake from Escape from New York. Do you remember that movie?
Nope.
No? All right.
Nope. This is way over my head.
We'll move on. All right. Anyways, that was an awesome piece of artwork. For those listening, if you want to see this artwork, you can go and check out the show on YouTube. Obviously, everybody who's listening on podcast form just got nothing out of that entire segment. So I'm sorry to have wasted 5 to 10 minutes of your day, but
take 5 more minutes and go check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, gain some reference.
There we
point of view. All right, here we go. It's time for it's becoming my favorite segment. No dumb questions,
just
dumb people.
People.
As always, we're gonna answer one of your not dumb questions, and this week's dumb question is brought to you by our friends at NerdWallet. If you want to make smarter decisions about your money, check out our friends at NerdWallet. If you want someone to answer your not dumb football questions, ask us. So let's get to the not dumb question. Provided
Smith.
by Brandon Smith at New Heights Show. What animal, if properly trained, would be most valuable on a football team, and what position would they play?
Properly trained.
Well, as a fan of animals and football, I'm a big fan of combining this right here and having this discussion. So I think there's some groundwork we got to establish. This is not a team of animals. This is just one animal.
One animal.
Right? So we have 10 players, one animal on the field.
Yeah.
Both teams get an animal. Right? Any team playing gets an animal.
Mm-hmm.
What animal, if properly trained, would lead to the biggest advantage or best team? A lot of things to consider.
Yeah.
A lot of things to consider.
Are we going? The obvious one is probably Bigfoot, right? I mean, he's the most human.
Travis,
of them all.
We're not talking about.
And
we're not talking
one
about
that could actually catch a football, run with it.
Travis,
score
there's no
4
Sam
touchdowns
Squanches
in one game.
There's no Sam Squanches. There's no abominable snowmen. There's no dragons. We're talking about things that you can find in a zoo or have optically been observed to have existed. Although Bigfoot, there are some
There's some
historically.
sightings.
Well, Yeah, but there's also some historical precedents of great apes that were that large. I forget what the thing's called. Something like an orangutan-ish
this guy
animal.
does research, man. This guy's a researcher.
We're going to leave out the mythical beasts on this show for right now, and we're only going to discuss observably real animals. Still a lot of areas to go with this. We can go, obviously, is it a bipedal or a quadrupedal animal? Is it an aerial, subterranean? Who knows? What do you have any choices you're going to go with?
I'm assuming you were just talking about animals on all four versus two.
That's quadrupedal and bipedal. Is it bipedal, bipedal? Yeah. Air, also known as a bird.
Man.
Subterranean, be something like a gopher. I would be inclined to go subterranean, but I think they're too small to grab a football. Like the biggest subterranean animal would be a wombat. But
what about what are the?
And I don't know how fast they are at digging. Because I mean, really, so the problem with aerial animals is for you to be considered in the field of play, you got to get 2 feet in. You got to get 2 feet in before it's a catch. And subterranean in the NFL, you can touch the ground until you're touched. You're not down. So a wombat, in theory, could tunnel a little hole right to the other end zone, pop his little wombat head up with the football.
Touchdown.
But I don't know how he's going to carry the football. I don't think their hands are big enough. I don't know how quick they are at tunneling. So I'm going to go, I'm saying the wombat's out.
Wombat's out.
Then you go into just big physical specimen animals. You got gorillas, bear, cheetah, pretty fast.
Pretty damn fast.
But you got to think, how is this thing going to carry the ball?
Yeah, no.
What's carrying the ball?
You got to go with the old, was it the bipedal? You got to go bipedal, I think.
Bipedal. Well, bears can be bipedal. So can gorillas. You've seen those things at the zoo where the gorilla's walking on 2 feet. You can go bipedal, holding that thing in one big paw. But a bear and a lion, they could also hold it in their mouth. If properly trained, their mouths are big enough.
That's why Brandon put properly trained.
That's right. Same thing with a tiger. I think the greatest athletes in the animal kingdom appear to be cats.
Oh, the cats, yeah.
Yeah,
big
you know
cats.
what I mean?
Big cats.
Even small cats are pretty good athletes, but I think a lion or a puma, I mean, that's an athletic creature right there.
I've seen a leopard do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, not in person, obviously.
But
you know what I mean?
Anyways, this is all leading to what I think the real answer is, which is an eagle.
What? No.
Their talons are big enough to hold a ball.
But like you said,
snap the ball, you give it to the eagle. It's going to fly faster to the end zone than anything can run. It'll just and it's going to touch down.
But if we know the eagle's on the field, we just put somebody in the end zone and wait for it to try and touch down, right? You're talking about it has to be in the field of play.
Yeah.
And we just
and if there's
grab that
one
thing out of the ground and throw it out of bounds.
So what's taking the eagle? What thing are you putting on the field if it's not an eagle?
I mean,
you got to choose.
You got to go. I would say gorilla. I'm thinking gorilla, man. A gorilla or a grizzly bear. Gorilla or grizzly bear, man. Those things.
I mean, if we're going size, you got to go elephant, though. What's going to tackle an elephant? Nothing's going to tackle an elephant. And it's got that big old trunk. You can throw it in there in the red zone. It's just going to come down with any jump ball.
No, not an elephant. Elephants, you can't bring down an elephant. Fuck.
Right? Is a bear taking down an elephant?
Man, that'd be good. Can you trip an elephant up?
I don't think so. It's quadrupedal. It's hard to trip up a quadrupedal animal.
It's got three other legs. They can balance on. Man,
you got a bipedal. That's when you stick your leg out. I don't know, man. I think
Mac Jones it.
I still think I'm going eagle, for obvious reasons. Oh, our producers are now informing us we have to give it a position. An eagle would obviously be a receiver. It would be off the field on defense, which maybe that's why you shouldn't do eagle. It's not going to be able to play both ways.
Ooh, yeah. How is an eagle going to tackle anything?
Elephant can play both ways. Hippopotamus.
Yeah.
Hippopotamus. Maybe you go hippo because it's an angry animal too.
That thing can move.
You need aggression in the field of play. No, I'm still going. I'm going elephant. It's too big.
Properly
too big
trained,
and powerful.
I'm going properly trained gorilla.
And the other thing is you could actually properly train an elephant. Those things are smart.
Smart. Yeah, I was about to say you got to take in what can you get it to actually do and perform. Like you can get. I think you can get a gorilla to catch a football and run with it.
Well, we're assuming that all of these animals are capable of learning.
The next zoo. No, you can't.
No, that's what it is. Well, that's what the question is. Assuming the properly trained animal. That means it's properly trained to play the position.
It has to be able to be trained, though.
Correct. Well, no. I think we're taking the mental aspect out. We're just talking about physical characteristics. I think that's the debate. You still have not chosen an animal. What animal are you choosing?
The closest thing to a Yeti. A gorilla.
A gorilla?
Yes.
I think it's a bad choice. They got short legs. They got short legs. You ever seen gorillas? They got short legs. Got long arms, but I'm not sold on the gorilla.
They can be both quadro and bipedal.
They're also lazy. Gorillas are lazy. They sit around a lot. They're not.
But if
they
you
don't have good
properly
endurance.
train it, give a gorilla some pre-workout.
Listen, you want to see a stiff arm? That elephant throwing that stiff arm trunk out there, that stiff trunk.
That stiff trunk?
That stiff trunk? How are you going to defend the stiff trunk?
Oh, I just went somewhere else with that.
Gosh, always going in the gutter.
So, yeah, that does it for No Dumb Questions. Just two dumb people talking about it. No Dumb Questions is brought to you by our friends at NerdWallet. If you want to make smarter decisions about your money, check out our friends at NerdWallet. And if you want someone to answer your not dumb football questions, maybe about elephants playing football, just ask us.
Yeah.
All right.
The other positive about an elephant I just thought about, elephants always remember. They never forget. Good luck fooling that thing.
They're also scared of mice.
Maybe you should have picked a mouse then. That would have been probably the best way to counter that. And you can train mice.
Yeah, I guess you can. Did we forget about Airbud? Airbud was a...
Airbud, yeah.
Was it? It was originally basketball, then they tried to make a football one.
Let's be honest. Airbud competed really, really well against a bunch of 10 and 11-year-olds. Full-grown men, they're going to slap the shit out of Airbud shit, okay? There's no way a golden retriever is playing basketball with Kevin Durant out there.
This guy's got a good point. Well, let's move on. And before we wrap up Week 18, we should talk about the playoffs. Officially running through new heights, baby.
We did it.
Number 1 seeds across the board, baby. Chiefs, Eagles.
Double number ones.
We are both clinched.
Boy, did we back ourselves into that one. You want to talk about, that was, we made it tight. Somehow it happened. I'm not quite sure how it happened. Made it about as hard as you can make it.
Football happened. It's a crazy game, man. Did you celebrate? Did you celebrate when you got the number 1 seed, or was just like, gosh, thank gosh?
Hell yeah. You kidding me? Yeah,
nice.
We were happy. I didn't keep my hat.
You guys got number 1 seed hats?
Well, we got NFC Conference Championship hats.
Yeah.
It took us to the very last game. We've had a chance to clinch this for the last 2 weeks, and it took us all the way to the wire to get it against the Giants, who were resting. So, but we'll take it.
You think it's more of the first seed, getting that bye week? You think it's more physical or mental?
Both.
Both? It's always both, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, physically, obviously, having a bye week is major. The other thing that I think is underrated is you get a week where you're not preparing for an opponent. You're just focusing on yourself. And it's not just players. Like, it's coaches. Like, everybody gets a chance to, do a big-time self-evaluation. You go back to doing drills that you haven't done since training camp.
Yeah.
You're doing things that really are much more about honing your game as opposed to preparing for someone else. And you try to keep track of this stuff in the regular season, but in the grand scheme of, 1, trying to stay healthy and fresh, 2, trying to prepare for an opponent, you lose track of some of these drills. And so I think it's a great week. You get a chance to go back out there and work some of these technique things that you haven't done for, at this point, 3 months, 4 months.
Which drills you doing, Jason? I'm trying to get
I love sets on squares. I love sets on squares. Everything starts with your feet.
Towel drill? Towel drill?
What's towel drill?
Where you roll up the towel, put it on, and get on the track.
I don't know which one this is.
That's a George Kittle drill. He does it, so I do it. Try to make me a better blocker. He taught us it at tight end U.
I don't know what this drill is, so I don't know.
You roll up a
to
towel.
it.
You roll up a towel. You put it on a line. You act as if that's the track. You work on your footwork, 6-inch steps, not take it too big of it.
Yeah, I just use the line.
Yeah.
What do I need a towel for if you have a line? I do believe in.
Not everybody has a line, Jason.
Well, I mean, we have lines. We have a whole field painted with lines on it. I grab one of the lines. I step over the line. There you go. We got to get this thing back on track. All right. I'm looking forward to sets on squares. I'm looking forward to even just working base blocks and fits with my hands. Looking forward to maybe doing some one-on-one pass sets.
Ooh. Pads on? Throw the pads on.
We're going to put pads on. We're putting the pads on.
Throw the pads on, baby.
You guys not putting the pads on?
Huh? Come on now. It's Coach Reid. Come on now. It's an old school guy. You know exactly what that means.
All right, so you're putting the pads on.
Pads have been on.
Pads have not been on. They have not been on. Who are you lying to?
But they will be on this week.
But that's the benefit of the bye week. You put the pads back on. You go out there. You do some things that you haven't done in a long time.
Nobody on the ground. Nope. Everyone stays off the ground.
Always.
Union it up, but get some work in, baby.
Yeah.
A lot of guys getting out of town.
I have no idea.
You got guys jumping out of town. I don't know anybody that's jumping out of town. I think it's a good chance to rest up, and you don't want to sit around the couch all week. You want to keep the body moving. You don't want it to get you don't want to get lazy. But
right.
I don't know too many people that are jumping out of town like they would on a season bye week. That is.
Yeah, I don't know.
In season bye week.
I haven't heard too many people leaving town, but I'm sure that some of the guys will.
Yeah, you guys aren't going down to Florida, jumping on a yacht with Trey Songz.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
I don't know that I'd be doing that regardless. But there might be some guys doing it. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it's going to impact playing a football game the following week. So, hey, if you guys want to go hop on a boat with Trey Songz, go for it.
The show. Got that importance of home field advantage, man. You can't say enough about what that means, especially in cities like Philly and Kansas City, man, where you got diehard football fans screaming their tail off and really making it an advantage when you play at the house. Yeah,
that's obviously the other advantage of the number one seed is everything runs through your field. Yeah. So, last time we did this in Philly, we had some unbelievably electric environments at the link.
I was there. I was there for a few.
I think it'll be the same way this time around. I'll be looking forward to watching the games this week, to seeing who we end up playing.
Me and you both, brother.
Trav.
Yeah, bud.
Got a quick hypothetical for you. Mm-hmm. 4th and 1. What is the smart decision?
I've heard this one before, man. We all know the answer. I'm assuming you're talking about the other 8%. You could either roll out the pocket, maybe throw it deep. Everyone's thinking you're going for 1 yard, go for a longer touchdown.
Come on.
What you got?
Trav, you know the answer. That's because 92% of the time it works every time.
All right now.
The smartest decision is to sneak it. But we can sit here and talk play calls all day. If you want to make the smart call about your finances, you got to check out NerdWallet.
That's right. NerdWallet is where you can compare top financial products side by side and make the best decision about your finances. NerdWallet has a whole team of actual nerds.
What?
That's right. Who will help you find your next credit card, savings account, and more.
And these aren't just regular nerds.
What kind of nerds?
We can 100% guarantee these are pure, grade A, never touched a football in their lives nerds.
Pure.
That's right. The nerds that run the world who only care about one thing, and that's your finances. The nerds at NerdWallet have the expertise to back it up with their objective ratings on top financial products for you.
Are you looking for a credit card that rewards you for what you spend on the most?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, NerdWallet can help you find a cashback card that earns extra cash back on groceries, gas, or even sports gear.
So, listeners, it's time to make the smart play with the nerds at NerdWallet. Compare and find top cashback credit cards, savings accounts, and more at nerdwallet.com.
NerdWallet, the smartest decisions for all your financial decisions. Be a nerd.
Don't be a dummy. Well, Trev, we got a new sponsor on today's show, and that's SeatGeek. I'm a big fan of nerds and geeks. kind of run the world if you really think about it.
They sure make my life easier.
And with over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app.
That's crazy, man. There's more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek. Mind-blowing, including sports, concerts, festivals, and more. And they always want to make sure that you're getting a good deal. So when you're on the app, look for the great deals and the green dots. The green means good. The red means bad.
And SeatGeek wanted to do something special for us, something they don't normally do. In honor of the NFL playoffs, SeatGeek is offering 15% off playoff tickets with code Kelsey.
All right now.
Whoa.
That code works whether you are a first-time buyer or you're coming back for more. Do we think the Link or Arrowhead will be crazier in the playoffs?
Come on now.
Yeah, with the loudest stadium in the world.
Yeah. All right. Come on into the Link. Get some batteries thrown at you. So if you're going into the playoffs this weekend, make sure to use code Kelsey for 15% off batteries and tickets. Link to the download is in the description. Well, before we get to next week, let's get to what happened this past week.
All right now. Let's tee up these 12 bold topics. That's right. We got 12 bold topics to wrap up Week 18 in the National Football League, which is the regular season wrap-up. Starting off with both of our games, we always do this where I tee up the topics on Jason's game, and Jason tees up the topics on the Chiefs game we had this past week. You want to start us off, brother?
Let's do it. Let's get to your game first.
All right now.
Chiefs at Raiders. You guys needed to win this one to
Vegas,
secure
baby.
the
Vegas.
#1 seed. In Las Vegas, Chiefs 31, Raiders 13. Let's get to what everybody wants to talk about. This weird play. What did you guys? First of all, what was this?
This was, I think, this is what happens when a whole bunch of guys just stay in a cube room for so long that they just start making up shit.
What can
I think
of?
What can we do that could just throw the other team off, right?
Well,
and that's what the quarterbacks were doing.
It
Quarterbacks, I don't have anything to do with this play. I usually throw my 2 cents in, say, hey, we should do this, we should do that, and I came in on Friday, and this was the play in the red zone.
The quarterback room is the one that came up with this play?
Yeah, the QB room definitely came up with this one.
All right.
The old what do you call it?
Snow globe. You guys called it. What did you guys call it?
We called it the Arctic Circle of Death. Snow globe left.
Snow globe left.
Snow globe left.
Listen, you guys.
Reindeer personnel. It was originally supposed to be like a Christmas game.
Reindeer. So
it was
this
supposed to be like a Christmas game.
The Christmas game.
It's supposed to be a fun Christmas game.
So it's been in for a minute.
Yes, it's been in for a little while. We had to, make sure we called it when in the right time. Being up in, I think it was 3 scores in the third quarter, or fourth quarter. I forget which quarter we actually ran it in.
I don't know. You guys are winning. It's one of those plays that gets called.
You can't call that down. I mean, you can. Yeah. You can.
That's one of those plays that gets called when you're up a few scores and you're just going for style points.
It was definitely a style points kind of play. I thought it was a little bit of a, I thought it was only supposed to be for Christmas because a play like that can look like a fuck you play if it's not like, I don't know.
You don't want to be a showboat.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You don't want to. Yeah, but it's the Raiders, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the NFL. It's all,
I will say
everything's live.
That's the fun of it. That's the fun of being in a Coach Reid offense. That's the fun of going through a season like this. You start making up wacky stuff and finally put it into a game. It works. You know what I mean? When crazy stuff like that works, it's just a whole lot more fun in the building.
There's always one or two of these kind of crazy plays in every week, and you usually don't run it. And you run it when you're winning.
Not quite.
You're running when you're winning by quite a bit. And I don't care what you guys called it. Snow globe, Arctic death, that's all nonsense. That was Ring Around the Posy. I've seen Ring Around the Posy, and I've seen Ring Around the Tony now.
Ring Around the Tony.
Yeah. That's a classic childhood game right there. And I thought it was a genius way to try and create deception. And you want to talk about flanking. Listen, you're king flanking.
The ultimate flank.
That's a flanking play right there.
You're right.
Over here.
Hey there.
Over here. Yeah.
Just lull them to sleep.
Which it was a touchdown. if not for, in my opinion, a really bad call on Creed Humphrey.
The ref just had to ruin the fun, man.
Yeah.
The ref just had to ruin the fun, man. We're all just trying to have a good
time. It was
time
so
in Vegas.
confusing, it confused the refs. That's how you know it's a good play.
They can't do that. Not allowed.
I don't know what just happened, but that's not allowed.
52.
I saw him throw somebody on the ground. Not everyone loved it. Broncos offensive guard Quinn Miners, the Chiefs' little ring around the Rosie play versus the Raiders pissed me off. Okay. Why?
I mean, because that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a fuck you play. It is, in a sense. But every play is a fuck you play. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I guess he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it.
Well, be better. I don't know. It just sounds like, I mean, he's a Broncos guy. Not surprising, a Broncos guy is feeling a certain way about the Chiefs season. And I like Quinn Miners. I mean, this is a guy who was pass blocking a tree. If you guys can find that production team.
Oh, that's
coming out. You remember this guy?
He's over here upset about the ring around the Rosie.
This guy's styling on a tree, and now all of a sudden, ring around the posie's all bad.
Not only is he doing that, he's recording it.
Yeah.
You're recording you blocking a tree.
I mean, I loved it. I loved every second of it, and I loved the way this guy plays the game.
I'm about to be in the backyard getting after it today.
Yeah. Listen. Get some, maybe that's the bye week.
Back to the basics, baby.
Back to the basics, baby.
Put these Timbs on.
Two-hand punch. Tight. Pow!
Right to the sternum.
Were you at all dizzy when you guys were doing the
No. I will
Arctic Circle, DEFCON 5, whatever you guys ended up calling it, ring around the Rosie play?
You know that moment that you get on a roller coaster and you're like going up the roller coaster real slow? And
yes.
Like it's
clicking.
building. Yes, yeah. It's like building, like we're really doing this. When I put my arms around the guys and we started going in a circle, I was just like, woo! We're doing it!
Was anybody laughing in the middle of the play? There had to be people laughing in the middle of the play.
We all were like, oh, wow, we're really going to run this. This is what we're doing. That's why I'm like, it's like, it felt like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is
was
really
it kind of like that
we're
point where you guys like reach up? It was like, oh!
When when the Joker caught it and I saw him like break that first, like, I don't even want to say it was a tackle, but broke through one of the tackles. It was like, yeah, it's working. And yeah,
by the way,
the ref ruined it.
Yeah, listen, let's not get on the refs, okay? They got enough people getting on them.
No.
I could see I could see getting
scored the
confused
next
on that
play.
too. Exactly. All righty. Decade of Andy Reid in Kansas City.
What a legend, man.
He's been there for 10 years now, which is crazy to think about because he was in Philadelphia when I first got in the league. He's the one who drafted me. So
made the playoffs 9 times, won the Division 7.
Yeah, you've been with him the entire time. He was you were part of his first draft in Kansas City.
Yes, I was.
Have you noticed anything change or evolve in the 10 years you've been with him?
Not really. I feel like he's been pretty steady. I mean, he's an old school style coach. You know what I mean? He's got a method, a certain routine year in, year out of how to make a team better, how to get a team, rested in when it needs to, how to get a team motivated. He's got his certain ways, and he doesn't fray from it at all, and that's what makes him great. He keeps his foot on the pedal when it comes to motivating and making sure you're doing your job. And he does it in a fun way, man. And that's why we have a lot of fun winning games out here.
Yeah, I think Andy, obviously, I think he's the best coach in the time I've been in the NFL. There'd be one other guy you could probably consider over in New England. But, I don't think you become the best by continually changing and evolving. I think you become the best and remain there for as long as he has, both in Philadelphia and Kansas City, because of who he is and kind of like his natural ability to lead, his natural ability to, get the best out of the people around him.
Yeah.
To manage human beings, emotional intelligence. Andy Reid has all of that stuff. And, you change and evolve scheme. You change and evolve how to attack and what you're going to do on the field. But I got to think Andy Reid probably is Andy Reid.
Every day, baby. You know what you're getting.
Yeah. Did you got a favorite Andy Reid story in the 10 years you've been there?
Man, favorite Andy Reid story.
Yeah. It's tough. A lot of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's.
Are you inclined, when I ask you that question, do you immediately think of positive Andy Reid memories or negative Andy Reid? Because the ones I think of are negative about my reactions with Andy Reid for the most part.
Yeah.
I still remember I was in.
You just knew I was going in the tank there. I was like, I don't want to tell that one. Don't want to tell that one. Don't want to tell that one.
Well, I think Andy.
We already told one.
Andy loves you up, right? He loves up all of his guys.
Right.
He's just that type of guy. But I think everybody knows that a pissed off Andy Reid is like the most like when Andy is mad at you, there's nothing you feel. It's like an aura in the room, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, man, I don't know what.
Big Bear's mad. Big Bear's mad.
This is not good. Not good at all.
Tighten it up. Hey, tighten it up. Tighten it up. Yep. Stop smiling. Tighten it up. 100%. And like you said, he's like, that's just how he is. But that's how he motivates. That's how he keeps the discipline on everybody. You know what I mean? He always wants everybody to show their personality. But at the end of the day, we mean business. And that's at the forefront of every single year, every single day. Is that we're got to be taking care of business.
What and Big Red has some awesome post game moments too.
Some coaches will, you know what I mean, movie day, we're not practicing, let's go to the water park. We're practicing.
You guys didn't go to a water park?
No, we're not going.
No water park?
Every day is what it's supposed to be, and that's practice and work. I think
that's been the breakdown of like every last practice of OTAs is like, water park on 3. Because it's going to be some type of shenanigans on that last day. What? So, yeah, I mean, well, you got this past one. I thought you got that. You give him a cheeseburger for Christmas. Thought that was great.
Oh yeah.
Isn't there some wasn't there like a Kool-Aid Big Red moment thing? What am I thinking of?
He came running into the
locker room, right?
It was just the locker room after a win. He came running in there all fired up, and sure enough, man, they put a big brick wall. Somebody did some good editing, yeah. Turned him into the Kool-Aid man breaking through the wall. That was classic.
I don't know. My favorite Andy Reid stories are probably my draft day. I think we had. I've already told that story.
I got a pretty good one that happened just a couple of days ago.
There you go.
I was feeling it after last game, and we had a short week this past week. So I think who was it that we played? It was the Broncos. So we played the Broncos. Yeah. Got banged up, took a few big hits, and I'm trying to go to work on a Tuesday, and we have walkthrough and stuff. So I'm walking around out there in some like lawn mowers, like some shoes that I've had in the closet or in my locker since like 2015, and I got this long sleeve on. I probably hadn't had a haircut in like 2 weeks, and I'm moving 10 times slower than everybody else. And Coach Reid, we're watching the film afterwards, and we're just watching walkthrough. He pauses, circles me with the laser, and says, "This is what 7-on-7 at the retirement home looks like." And I didn't say shit. Yeah. I'm just the oldest one in the room, moving the slowest. Yep. Just like, it's a good one, Big Red. Got
note taken. All right. Pick that up next time.
He's got little sayings like that, man, that make it fun.
It's hard to. That's one of the reasons it's hard to do a favorite Andy Reid story, because like it's all of the best stories are only good because it's Andy Reid, and his like personality and who he is makes all of these moments memorable and impactful. We need to talk about a quote from you. Everybody's always asking how the heck I get open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, I got Coach Reid, baby.
Big Red.
When you got Coach Reid, he can get anybody open. He can get my dad open if he was out there.
Big Ed.
That might be the one person he won't be able to get open. Let's be honest. Big Ed ain't getting open anywhere.
He ain't got no knees, man.
No, the knees don't work. He's got new knees.
He's got new knees?
He's got new knees.
New knees! I will say this. We were talking about he doesn't really change, but you talked about how scheme always has to change, always has to keep evolving. mentioned it before, how he's changed the tight end position for a guy like me. What the tight end looks like in this offense is way different than what it was when I first got into the league, especially here in Kansas City with Alex Smith and then Pat. Having Tyreek out there changed a lot of what we were doing and the type of routes that I could run. But Coach Reid nonstop evolved this tight end position for me, and I can't say how much I love him for that. Coach Heck, Andy Heck, our offensive line coach, run game guy, also helped transition me into that role, seeing how much the RPOs have changed the tight end position in the offense in general. And with that, it's just like the evolution and Coach Reid being the creative genius behind it all. A lot of people don't understand. Coach Reid was a tight end coach in Green Bay. Like, he understands the position. Yeah. He was an O-line coach at other spots in college. Coach, yeah. So he gets the grand scheme of things for sure. And he understands the type of mismatches a tight end can have. So I owe a lot of my career, if not all my career, to that big guy. So cheers to 10 more. Yeah.
Sum up this season in one word for the Kansas City Chiefs so far.
I don't have a very big vocabulary. This is going to be tough.
Doesn't have to be a big word.
But it has to be meaningful. You know what I mean? And I don't know meanings. I would say one word: as planned.
2 words, but maybe you can say it's hyphenated.
Hyphenated. If somebody with a bigger vocabulary can give me one word that describes as planned.
As planned.
Help me out here.
Foreseeable.
There we go. Foreseeable. Saw it coming. Knew it.
All righty.
Had it coming. If you would have asked me before the season, would we win the division? Yes. Would we get the number 1 seed? Yes.
Well, not everybody was on board with that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you had a lot of people that didn't know if the Chiefs were going to be able to be the same team of old.
Listen, there's a lot of dumb questions. It's a lot of dumb.
And
people.
A lot of dumb. All right.
Let's.
I think that sums up that section pretty good. All
right now. Moving on to the Eagles over the Giants. Eagles 22, Giants 16. Jalen's back.
Back, baby. The system.
The system is back. After missing 2 games, 2 tough games for the Eagles going into the last one. Got to win to get the number 1 seed. You guys go handle business, baby. It was at the Link, wasn't it?
It was at the Link.
At the Link. Not a bad gig. Not a bad gig.
At the Link against the Giants.
What was the prep like this week for Jalen? Was he out there? Was he practicing every single week, or I don't want to get into it, or every single day, or
he was.
That's what's up, man.
He was out there every day. Obviously, still a little banged up and not 100% healthy. So the full system was a little bit different, but man, he's been itching to get back out on the field, and you can see it on his face. He's a guy that always wants to be out there. Shout out to Gardner Minshew played his tail off in Jalen's absence, but it was nice to have Jalen back out there. And we've played a lot of games with Jalen at this point. His personality, who he is, his leadership abilities, all these things culminate into making for a pretty dang dynamic and efficient offense. Yeah. So it was awesome to have him back out there this week.
Well, he was in quotes saying, I feel like coming into this game, I've been pushing myself beyond measure to try and be available. And as you would expect, absolutely nothing else, nothing less from him as a competitor and just a leader on that team. But is it harder to get ready for a team that really doesn't have much to play for?
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're playing a team that already is clinched and you don't know if they're resting, who's playing, it just leads to more unknowns that are going to happen on game day. You don't know what personnel is going to be out there. The coordinators are likely not going to stick to the script that they're usually sticking to with the starters out there. I thought, it's one of those things where you got to be ready for anything. And,
a few more curveballs. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you're waiting up until game day to find out who's playing. So obviously Giants elected to rest a lot of guys. But man, Wink was dialing it up. Their defensive coordinator wasn't holding back. Their coaches obviously are a big reason that they've been so successful. So, I think it certainly wasn't easy. That's for dang sure.
You always got to be ready for those special teams fakes, man. Those games.
Yeah, they did a surprise onside for the second half.
Get it? Did they get it?
They did not. They missed it. But
it's unfortunate.
You're right. Yeah, you always got to be ready for that stuff.
Eagles offensive records. It might be the best Eagles offensive season of all time if you're looking at these numbers.
Statistically, I think, yeah.
Even better than the Dream Team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in some ways like all these numbers from here on out are a little bit different because you have another game.
17, yeah.
But, a lot of these numbers were set in place long before this last game.
Yeah.
So
I hear you on that. But A.J. Brown, most yards in a season for his career. Or actually,
I think Mike Quick's record,
Mike Quick.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, nice. So it wasn't just for him. It was
No, this is the Eagles' most
right on.
receiving yards in a single season.
And then, obviously, Miles Sanders' first 1,000-yard season since Shady. Devontae Smith, most receptions in a season, 95. I thought that was going to be a little higher.
I think that is a wide receiver. I think Ertz holds the record for most receptions, but maybe I'm wrong.
Definitely broke the record. He broke the tight end record for, I think he had like 113. So it's definitely receivers for sure.
Gotcha.
Jalen Hurts, most rushing TDs by an Eagles QB in the season, franchise record, in yards as well for a QB. And then the franchise points.
Yeah,
the points, baby.
Points. Hey.
Most points, 477 points. That's wild, man. That's a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, we did a good job of finding the end zone this year. Yeah, we had a dynamic group of guys. I mean, we ended last season with a lot of momentum. I think one of the stats that people have put up is, Jalen Hurts since week 10 of last year is 19-1 or something like that. Like, it's, and that might have been before this last game, but we ended last season well. We obviously adding A.J. Brown. You're curious to how that's going to fit in, but pretty darn good player. So you think it's going to make a big difference.
And
Devontae Smith being a year older, the coaches being another year with the same group of guys, Jalen being the same year with the coaches.
The system.
Got a great offensive line. We've got a lot of really, really good pieces. And it's been a really fun year for our offense.
Well, we're still waiting on that Jason Kelce touchdown, man. I mean, come on, Coach. We got to dial it up. If we're dialing up the Arctic Circle of Death, snow globe left out of reindeer personnel, we can figure out something for Jason Kelce.
I think Jason Kelce's good on. As long as I'm blocking for a touchdown, I'm happy. I don't need to be catching any balls. That's a lot of added pressure right there.
All right now. So what sums it? We got to do it for your team as well, man. What sums up the season in one word for the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles?
I would say unfinished.
Damn, that's good, man.
Yeah, I think we're very happy with where we're at this year, and we're happy that we're the number one seed. But that ain't the goal. Winning the regular season is great. It's a hard accomplishment or winning the regular season for the NFC. But I think that all of us would like to make this season a lot more meaningful than that. And it's not done, and we're trying to keep our focus on what's next.
Job not finished, man.
Before we get to the rest of the show, if you love daily fantasy, you need to check out our partner, DraftKings. They're giving new customers a free shot at a share of millions in prizes with their first deposit.
Millions?
All new customers need to do is download the DraftKings app now and sign up using promo code New Heights.
You heard the man. Playing daily fantasy football is easy. Just pick from your favorite players each week, enter contests. That guy's not too bad. And win cash prizes weekly. And with a free shot at a share of millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit, it's the perfect time to show off your football game, baby.
So download the DraftKings app now and sign up using promo code New Heights. This week, new customers can get a free shot at a share of millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit.
Just enter that promo code New Heights to get a free shot at a share of millions of total prizes with your first deposit, ladies and gentlemen. That's code New Heights, only at DraftKings.
And before we get to the rest of the show, we need to shout out one of our incredible sponsors, one of our first sponsors.
Shout out.
Yeah, and it's one of the products I take every day. I started taking AG1 because they gave it to us for free, and I've been taking it ever since.
I could use some Athletic Greens myself. How have you been feeling, though? You been feeling good? Are you the green juices getting you going or what?
I feel great, and it's not a juice. It's a vitamin, multivitamin mineral.
Excuse me?
Probiotic. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in there. It's got a lot of good green stuff chopped up in it. And honestly, I feel great.
Is it easy to do every single day, or does it get redundant?
No, it's easy. You take it every morning when you wake up on an empty stomach. Take 1 scoop of AG1, mix it in with water, and you're good for the day. If you guys listening have been looking for something simple to start your day off healthy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.
You heard the man. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/newheights. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/newheights to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Let's move on to the players' insights on the NFL storylines, baby. Bills kickoff return, dog. Electric. What an emotional day, emotional game. The everything leading up to it that the broadcast did.
When you have these crazy people that say the NFL is scripted, stuff like this happens and you're like, the NFL might be scripted.
Man, I was so emotional that I got chills and I almost got teary-eyed. That was an electric play for it to happen like it did. How the beginning of the game was built up all around DeMar and his family, and just being thankful that he's all right. And then you see, what is it, Nyheim Hines?
Nyheim Hines, yep.
Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines.
He had 2 of them too. It wasn't just that first one. The second one was electric too, but that first one, man.
Yeah, that first one was it though.
Yeah, it was
coming right off of a canceled game, obviously with the DeMar Hamlin injury, which thankfully we've gotten a lot of great news on that front. But man, this was we were getting ready to play our game, and I went into the training room to catch the only TV that's in there. Mm-hmm. And see what's going on across the league. And I knew this game was starting. I was interested to see what was going to happen. You could see the emotion. You could feel the emotion leading up to it.
You could feel it.
And then the moment that thing happened, it was, you couldn't help but be just
happy for
jubilated. It was just a sense of euphoria across, I think, the entire NFL community when that happened, if you were watching it. And to see the look on, Coach Sean McDermott's face, to see a look on Josh Allen. All these guys were so just happy. It was like a weight had been lifted to signal that hey, we're back to doing what we love. We're back out here doing this for DeMar, and we're back out here playing football. You could not have come up with a better way to get back to playing football for the Buffalo Bills. Awesome moment.
Awesome moment, man. Did this week feel different for you?
No, I'm not going to lie. It did not. I approached it as a normal work week. I think obviously all the stuff early on with the unknown about Hamlin's injury, that was a little bit different, right? But football, I've kind of said this before, but I think, that's one of the things that for me doesn't really change. I just go out there and play football. It's my one way to escape. So, no, that didn't feel any different, but it was obviously different watching that game.
What's wild is you got DeMar Hamlin, number 3. Everybody's throwing up the threes throughout the entire game. That was the Bills' first kick return for a touchdown in 3 years and 3 months.
Whoa. Wow.
Number 3 was he was in the building. That's for sure.
Yeah. For sure.
He's on everybody's mind, everybody's heart, and there were a lot of guys playing for him. And what an electric moment, man. What an electric moment.
Next storyline we got, Lovie Smith goes out with a win. Fired immediately afterwards, but he got that win in beating the Colts and securing or losing the number 1 pick, securing the number 2 pick now, I think. Yeah. Texans complete a 4th quarter comeback, trailing by 7 In the fourth quarter, they convert on 4th and 20 for a 28-yard touchdown.
I'll tell you what, that play was.
And then, instead of kicking in and going into overtime.
Oh, play for the win right now.
Hey, we're playing to win this game.
We're playing to win this game.
Lovie goes for 2, gets it.
I love it, Lovie. I absolutely love it. And a hell of a play call, too. 2-point conversion sealed the game for him. There was still, I think, like 50 seconds left or something like that. But Texans ended up winning the game. And you think, I mean, it gave the Bears, Lovie Smith was once a Bears coach.
Yeah.
Do you think he might have knew and
was
wanted
doing a little bit of undercover? I
don't know, man. I don't know.
That's awfully.
It's interesting.
That's awfully conspiratorial. I think it is. I mean, it is crazy. The Texans lose obviously the 1st and 32nd picks, but I don't know. For me, I'm always a fan of playing to win the game. In the grand scheme of things, what is the difference of the 1st and 2nd pick? Now it's Chicago. They already got a quarterback. You got to think the Texans are going to probably eye down one of these quarterbacks, although I don't want to speculate on where they're going to go. It's important to win in this league. I know a lot gets said about tanking, and I just don't think there are that many instances that it makes sense to lose on purpose in the NFL.
I can't get on board with it. That's for damn sure. And I don't think it's ever the players. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. I think that this is usually players always play to win. I can't really think of, unless you got some player that's in with Vegas or something like that. I think every team I've ever been on, the players are always playing as hard as they can. And for the most part, I think the coaches coach as hard as they can. I think that this is maybe something upstairs, but I just don't think it makes that much sense. Unless you have like a quarterback that you think is going to be the next,
Pat Mahomes,
Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. Unless you got a guy at number 1 that you believe that much in, no one player is going to make that big of a difference as your team trying to lose a game collectively. I just don't. It's different than basketball. It's different than other sports, and even in basketball, I've seen it not pan out well. Once you start losing games on purpose and devaluing each and every game, I think that's a dangerous road to go down in the locker room.
That's a bad culture, man.
So I don't think.
Hopefully, that's not what was happening, but
no. Well, it certainly wasn't. They won the game.
Yeah, good point.
Now maybe some things happen upstairs, and they do some things to try and maybe not put guys in the best position, things like that. Yeah, that's where I'm at with the whole tanking thing. And I love that Lovie Smith went out there to win. You play to win the game. You play football to win the game.
Who are you quoting right now?
I don't know. I think I've heard that before.
Well,
alrighty.
Moving on to Lions Seahawks, man. The Lions Packers. The Lions saved the Seahawks season. They beat the Packers in Lambeau to end the Packers season.
Another
in a meaningless game.
Meaningless. They're all meaningful. Come on.
Listen,
meaningless game,
especially when you're playing for Dan Campbell, baby.
Yeah, you when you're biting kneecaps, nothing is meaningless. Everything has meaning when you're biting kneecaps.
Every single step, baby. Yeah, knock Green Bay out of the playoffs, man. Lions safety Kirby Joseph after the game tweeted, "If we're not playing, y'all not playing either. I don't care."
Yeah.
What a quote, man.
Yeah.
If we're not playing, y'all ain't either, man. That's how you know.
Doesn't surprise me.
That game had some meaning. That game had some meaning.
You want to talk about a team. First of all, the Lions have been playing really, really good football the second half of this season. Almost snuck into the playoffs themselves. Missed out on it by one game, I think, last week. I think, Dan Campbell has put certainly an atmosphere in that building and in Detroit of hard work, toughness, grit, and desire. I mean, those guys play hard each and every game. They run the ball hard. Obviously, oh my gosh, what's his name? Broke Barry Sanders' record this past week.
Jamal Williams.
Thank you, Jamal Williams.
They got the right leaders too. Like a guy like Jamal pours his heart out there, man.
So does not surprise me at all that these guys went out there and played a dang good game and knocked the Packers out.
If you're the Packers, man,
that hurts,
man. That
hurts big time. And they were another team that was great second half.
Yeah,
they're playing their best ball this part of the year. I think both of these teams would have been incredibly dangerous in the NFC playoffs because they both were playing their best ball right now. And, you knew this game was going to be meaningful and a tough one for either one of them. Is this Rodgers' last game, do you think?
No.
Well, last game in Green Bay.
They just extended him. I don't think he leaves Green Bay. I think he stays in Green Bay. I feel like every season, though, is a big question on whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to keep playing football.
Well, that's what happens when you get old.
Keep playing with Green Bay.
Listen, when you get old, people want to know, hey, are you still going to be willing to potentially hurt yourself for money that you largely don't need anymore?
Everybody loves to play the game of, if he was on a different team.
Yeah. I mean,
that's like their favorite game to play in the offseason.
This is like the last 2 years
with the San Fran.
Last offseason, Green Bay started off bad. Everybody's like, "Oh, Rodgers is done." He ends up winning the MVP. This year, everybody's like, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers ain't got it anymore." They end up being one game away from making the playoffs and an incredible second half of the season. So, I don't know when Rodgers is going to hang it up, but it's going to be on his terms. This guy's, obviously one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And he's I don't really know where I'm going with it. Who knows if it's his last game, but he still got it. I know that.
He definitely still got it.
All right. College coaches in the NFL. Kingsbury.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Kingsbury fired in Arizona. With Kingsbury and Matt Rule out, there is obviously no more college coaches that are head coaches in the NFL. Why do we not see more college head coaches make it in the NFL, at least successfully?
I think because the money's better in college.
The money's better in college? Is that true?
I mean, you look at all the top dogs in college, and they are making like big north of 10 a year, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's an NFL coach making that much.
Well, John Gruden famously was making over $10 million a year when he signed that 10-year, $100 million contract or whatever it was before he got fired. But he was making 10 a year. I think there's head coaches making 10 a year. It's not the norm, which it does seem like these big time college coaches are all making something like that now.
Yeah. Either way, though, I don't necessarily know if whenever this debate comes up a lot, can college coaches make it in the NFL? Can NFL, it's just a different world, man. It's a different world. You have to have I feel like a different way of challenging kids versus challenging grown men. The discipline aspect is way different. The structure and routine is way different. Like, I didn't have a lot say in what my day looked like in the off season. Like, every single time I woke up in college, I had a routine waiting for me and a set schedule waiting for me. It's different in the NFL. So you don't get that same every single day with the players that I think you do in college, or at least it's more of a business relationship. Where college, a lot of the great coaches out there are very family oriented. Their family is ingrained in the city and in the school and in the families of the players. I just think it's a different world, man. And to compare it, I think is unfair.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly part of it. In college, right away you're given respect through the recruits that commit to you, right? In the NFL, you have to go in there and earn the players, not just respect, but not devotion, but willingness to play for you, and willingness to give everything they have for you. And that's a hard thing to navigate. But, I think, listen, I've seen college coaches coach well. There's a lot of coaches that have coached in college and the NFL. Like, is Pete Carroll a college coach or an NFL coach? He's had success at both levels.
Both, yeah.
He coached in college, then the NFL, then back in college, and in the NFL. So I think it really comes down to, the best coaches that can sustain being a great head coach tend to be the best leaders, tend to be the best managers of people, motivators. I think a lot of college coaches end up getting hired in the NFL because they have a hot scheme or something that is allowing them success and a competitive advantage, right?
Yeah.
They've outsmarted everybody somehow.
Chip Kelly,
Kingsbury, like all of these guys are kind of on the cutting edge of doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. But time will tell if that is sustainable and whether whether you can continually innovate that and push that forward.
Yeah, because the fact of the matter is that you're not going to have those same players ever again, and your scheme has to be around the guys that you have in that building. Yeah, well, not just that, but eventually it's going to get caught up with. Eventually, you're not going to have that crutch of being the smartest person in the room. Yeah, nobody has that. I mean, I guess Bill Belichick is a hell of a schemer, but so is Andy Reid. But you still need to have that ability. But man, I really think that the best head coaches tend to be the best managers. They hire good people. They evaluate talent really well. They're tireless workers. They're driven human beings. You can find that in the college ranks. So I don't necessarily believe that you can't hire a good coach from college and he'll be a great NFL head coach. I certainly think that could happen. I just think most of the time the guys that are hired end up being these like highly successful, innovative coaches that once that crutch of innovation kind of fades away, they're left with, okay, now how good are you at all these other things that allow the best coaches to sustain it, right? The Pete Carrolls, the Andy Reids, the Bill Belichick's, the Bill Parcells, like all of these guys that have sustained it for decades. Those are the things that make those guys unique, not the fact that they invented some unique defense or offense or anything like that. I'm right there with you, brother. All righty. New Heights Awards. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, baby. The season has finally ended, and, obviously we like to give out some awards here and there from time to time. All right now. So we are officially launching our end of the season awards, the Newsies. The Newsies. We're going to, neither one of us has a game to prepare for, so we needed something to talk about at the end of the show because we can't look forward to our games next week. Don't know we're playing. We decided to create an award. Hey. And kind of recap the season. So, this year, the New Heights Awards, the Newsies, are going to be from our favorite moments of the year. Trav, you want to start it off? Let's start it off, maybe. Maybe, baby. Let's start it off. Our first newsie is best display of basketball skills on a football field. Hey. That's right. We all know that playing football and basketball go hand in hand. We've talked about it a lot. So we want to recognize the guys that might want to trade in their cleats for some sneakers. That's right. We got 3 nominees in this category. One going to the Dolphins special teams for the box out, a.k.a. the butt punt. Back of the end zone. We all know that was some great box out. That was a good box out. It was a good box out, baby. Guy was getting to the boards. We also have Mac Jones taking a charge. Got his feet planted outside the restricting zone. Refs didn't call it, though. Refs didn't call it. They let Chandler Jones walk right into the end zone after that. And then you got my favorite, baby, Air Mahomes. Woo-hoo! My dog going up top, sacrificing the body like MJ would. He always gets those MJ comparisons, baby. Now we just got to get that, that one picture of him lifted in the air. Yeah, I mean, the Air Mahomes was very Jordan-esque in its pose. Who gets the best display of basketball skills on a football field newsie, though? I mean, let's be honest. None of them are very good because we've established this. NFL players aren't going to make good NBA players. We have not established this. I think the closest one to any type of football maneuver is clearly the Mac Jones charge. It was textbook charge technique. It was. Feet were planted, arms were extended. I mean, I guess this is the technique usually on the charge, but usually you want to protect the kids, man. But yeah, Mac went a different route. Congrats, Mac, on winning the New Heights Newsie, brother. The first newsie goes to Mac Jones. Goes to Mac Jones, baby. All right, we're taking a charge. I'm sure he is not going to find this funny. He won't. But what can you do if you can't laugh? You know what I mean? We've all been a part of things. Yeah, it's one thing if it loses the game, though. It's true. It's a good point. And they've missed the playoffs by one game, so that is those are all really good points. All righty, here we go. Did we just become best friends award? Ooh. So for this newsie, during the season, we met a lot of new people.
So we want to recognize some new guys that we may actually want to hang with outside of football.
Yeah.
Trav, who is the most likely to be late to practice after hanging out with you?
I mean, we already know Pat's in my hip pocket with that one.
Yeah.
I would say, most likely to be late. I got to go receiver because I feel like receivers are always late.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about OBJ. We talked a little bit about OBJ, but I'm going to
go you going with your boy OBJ?
OBJ, man. He's going to walk
All right.
in with me after a fun time. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be a good time, I'm sure.
I can see it happening for sure.
All righty.
What about you? Most likely to get an invite to calving season?
Well, a lot of choices. Got a lot of new teammates, got a lot of new people. That has been one awesome thing from this show is the amount of camaraderie that I've felt from other NFL players and support of New Heights. And one of the guys who has been out on the Twitterverse and who I would love to take to calving season, I got to go J.J. Watt.
Nice.
He's also coincidentally from Wisconsin, so I got to think he's been to a calving.
He's definitely experienced.
Land of the cheese? Yeah, he's got some experience with calving.
The original ice bath. He's big on cutting a hole in the lake and just jumping in.
Yeah, that's the Wisconsin way.
That is.
Also the Cleveland way.
All right now. Moving on to our next newsie, New Heights stat line of the year. Hey. That's right. Look, we all know that only certain stat lines matter on this show, and it's typically not the good ones. So we wanted to recognize our favorite stat lines of the year. We got a few nominees. Obviously, we got the most butt stat line of all time. 7 receptions, 25 yards, but 4 tutties by Al Bundy himself.
Al Bundy stat line.
Yours truly. And then we got the Eagles actually being 92% on QB sneaks. Like, that's an actual.
We're a tad short, I think.
It was at 88.
Close.
It was at 88. Did you guys run any these past couple weeks?
We missed one against New Orleans, but I don't know. I hear all sorts of numbers thrown out. There was a reporter came up to me and said we were 91 afterwards. I don't know.
It counts. You guys are 91 now.
Listen, we've been over this. It's like it's just one of those things. It's like pie. It sits at 92%. It's a set number it's just where quarterback sneaks live at in the universe.
All right now, and then we got Derwin James' season. 64 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, but the best stat line, a fucking power bomb on the goal line.
Oh, you're missing the other one.
I felt every bit of that. What?
You're missing he signed a baby. He's the only one of us who has signed a baby.
I thought you said you signed one.
I said I would. I'll sign a baby.
I'll tell you what, though. He is patting the stats over there because only one in the league that can record that many tackles, that many sacks, that many interceptions, power bomb a 265-pound man, and sign a baby all in 1 year.
Tell you what, that's a season right there. What else can we stack on top of that?
I don't know, man. Who you going with? Who gets the newsie?
Listen, these are all great nominations, but your Al Bundy stat line has only happened one. I challenge anybody to find. You had 4 touchdowns, and your yards per reception were less than the amount of touchdowns you have. You have less than 4 yards per reception, and you have your touchdowns are more than yards per reception. I mean, it's a crazy stat line. I don't think anybody else has ever done that in the history of the game.
Nobody will ever be that buns until you get to the goal line.
And then that great.
That's
a great stat line right there.
I want a newsie! Let's go, man.
Alrighty.
Shout out to Al Bundy, man.
On to our next Newsie Award. We got the Shit We Didn't See Coming Award.
What?
Every NFL season, there are things that happen that no one sees coming. So this Newsie is going to give a little shout out to the things we didn't see coming about this year.
All right,
First nomination is head coach Jeff Saturday.
Didn't see it coming.
Nope, I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
Nope.
Second nomination, we got Jaguars in the playoffs.
What the fuck? Didn't see that one coming.
After last season's debacle with Urban Meyer, I don't think anybody saw that one coming. Third nomination, we got the Chiefs getting the number 1 seed. We alluded to this.
Who the fuck didn't see that? I saw it coming.
Well, of course you did.
I foresaw it.
Tyreek Hill didn't see it coming. I think there are a lot of people that did not see the Chiefs getting the number 1 seed.
Old Will Compton, our friends over at Busted with the Boys,
That's
definitely
right.
didn't see it coming.
That's right. In the 4th nomination, Seahawks making the playoffs with Geno Smith. I mean, all
Didn't
4
see it
good
coming.
nominations.
Didn't see it coming. All
think,
4? No, what?
What?
Take us off of there, all right? I saw that shit coming.
Travis, you should be proud of this. A lot of other people didn't see it coming. Just because we saw it coming doesn't mean other people didn't see it coming. A lot of analysts were not high in the Chiefs going into the year.
Well, we all got to talk about something.
That's true. Hot take.
Hot take. I mean, there's only one right answer to this. The shit we didn't see coming award.
Which one?
Jaguars. I mean, we did not see that shit coming at all.
I got to agree. I think what Doug has done there in his first year is pretty remarkable, especially with where that team was at and kind of the mockery it could kind of become last year with all the shenanigans.
You want to talk about a complete 180, man.
Yeah. I mean, these guys play hard. They play for each other. And now they're in the playoffs 1 year after finishing 3-14. Yeah. And they're playing good football right now. They could do some dangerous things in that AFC.
Yeah.
Started 3-6. They've won on a 6-game winning streak. They're in the playoffs.
How about that, man? Dougie P. Obviously, we love Dougie P. You can't throw it all on him, but that culture change is definitely a lot to do with what's going on in there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one coach that can heal a group of guys and get people to fight for each other, my man Dougie P's got it done. Way to go, coach. And also, the other reason we're choosing I just want to make that Jaguars coach's jersey swap with his coat. I want to make that coat a little bit more valuable. So the Newsie goes to the Jaguars, hence Doug Peterson.
You think getting him a Newsie is going to fucking make it more valuable? I mean, it might. It might.
I don't know.
It might.
It makes it more valuable to me. That's all
now.
that matters.
All right now.
All right, last award, we got the Not Playing Dress Up Award. I think this is obviously an allude to who had the best pregame outfit, game day fit.
That might be.
We got a few nominations. We got the first nomination, Brian Robinson's big hat.
The big hat. I mean, that ended up being
that was a great day.
The league
great
ran with
fit.
that one. The league ran with that one.
And now a lot of people have one. It's become a thing. Big hats have become a thing.
He is a fashionista for that one. He's a trendsetter.
Yeah, Brian Robinson's friend, who owns the big hat company, has got I hope he's getting royalties from that thing. That has turned it into something that was nothing is now all of a sudden something, all because of Brian Robinson. Second nomination, we got Jason's 51st dates.
Jason being you.
Yeah, I have a little bit of upset that this is up there because that was clearly a dress as, not a dress up. But we can include it. Travis, you're up here obviously for every single week. You having a new game day outfit. It appears if there was a dress up poster
everyday
child,
outfit.
If there was a dress up poster child for the NFL, it would be Travis. It would be a picture of Travis Kelce right there, and one of his any outfits he wears every week. And then the last nomination,
every day, Jason. Every day. It's not just a game day. It's an everyday outfit.
You are pretty styled up every day.
All right now.
Last nomination we got is the Lane Johnson dress, which I think is another dress as, but we'll include it in the dress up award when he dressed up as me for Halloween.
I mean, that wins.
Yeah,
that was the best. That was the best one. Congrats, Lane.
I got to agree. I think that was clearly the best outfit of the season. It's still my Twitter profile pic. I loved it so much. Nothing brought me greater joy than watching my good friend walk in impeccable style, mimicking me. Impeccable.
The
Ocean Drive shirt.
The moxie he wore with it he carried with it was phenomenal.
Way to go. Well,
Lane, congrats on the New Heights Newsie, brother.
This last award is not a Newsie, but we're going to talk about the last award on the season, the MVP award.
The MVP.
We're not going to obviously decide who wins this award. It's not a Newsie, but we are going to discuss it because we've each been around two of the biggest candidates for it.
We've been fortunate to be playing with two MVPs, man.
Yeah.
These guys have been playing their tails off. Our good friends, guests of the show, ironically.
Yeah, our first two guests.
Jalen Hurts and Pat Mahomes, baby.
Yeah. Maybe more people should come on the show. Come on the show, all of a sudden, MVP potentiality realized.
You got to speak it into existence, baby.
I'll start by stating the case for Jalen Hurts.
Let's hear it.
By listing a lot of the numbers and things that really don't speak to what makes him a special player, he set a franchise record for most total offensive yards by a quarterback in a single season at 4,461. Had 2,000-yard receivers. Set a new team record of 14 wins. Franchise record, that is. A franchise record of offensive points with 477. Leads the NFL in quarterback win percentage. 3,701 yards passing with 747 yards rushing.
Damn.
22 passing touchdowns and 13 rushing touchdowns.
Damn.
And then outside of Jalen being the dominant player on the field, he was also dominant in his New Heights highlights. He was the first ever to be a guest on New Heights. Dropped his exclusive draft day story with obviously the Steelers and not really thinking he was going to even be in Philadelphia. Was part of revealing an amazing Cedric the Entertainer story. And he was the only one that we've interviewed that really took over and started to ask the questions.
Yeah, it was his show there for a while.
Yeah. He was like, enough of you guys. Who do you guys think's the GOAT all time of anything?
Listen, these questions are cool and all, but let's get down to some real talk.
Jordan or Ali. Okay. But, I mean, that's how obsessed this guy is with greatness and obsessed he is with winning. I think he's a incredibly driven individual who can't help but think on terms like that and is disinterested with New Heights hooligans asking him questions. All these numbers are outstanding. Jalen Hurts had an amazing year. It still doesn't speak to why he's a special player and why he's the MVP in my book and our teams. He's just a great person. He's a great leader. He's got a great demeanor. The bottom line is guys play better around him. And he's had that his entire career. And I think that's one of the things that makes him such a unique and dominant player besides being a physical specimen. So, obviously leading us to the number one seed in the NFC. A lot of people go into that. We had a great team this year, a great offense, great defense, great coaches. But the man at the helm of all of that was none other than Jalen Hurts. He is the system.
Well played,
Alrighty.
man. Well played.
Your turn.
It's Pat Mahomes. What do you want me to say? It's Patrick Mahomes. He leads.
Listen, you can't just keep saying it's Pat Mahomes.
It is.
You can't just keep
turn
saying
the film
it's Pat
on,
Mahomes.
turn it on, and tell me that guy doesn't deserve everything.
All right. You can,
the guy leads the NFL in all these categories. Passing yards. He has 500 more than any other quarterback. Passing touchdowns. He has 6 more than second place. He owns it in first downs. Passes at 25-plus yards. The first QB to throw for 5,000 yards and rush for 350. That's a LeBron stat. It's a crazy stat to even think about. Just kind of making up random stats. 300.
I mean, he's the stat machine.
You could throw all these
this
stats
entire
around.
episode could be, where are we at right now? What's the time we're on right now? We're at an hour and a half in. This entire episode could just be a stats compiled by Patrick Mahomes. There's no question.
Stat Mahomes.
Stat machine.
Stat Mahomes, baby. He's not
Stat
the
Mahomes?
Stat
Is
Mahomes.
that a real nickname, or did you just come up with that?
It just popped in my head, baby. Stat Mahomes.
I like that. Stat Mahomes. That's good.
It's got a ring to it, doesn't it?
It does.
And all those numbers, everything is. It's lovely to look at because it just shows you the season in review. But the most important Pat's stats, Stat Mahomes' stat line, are his highlights on New Heights. He gave us a classic rendition of New News in the Pat Mahomes voice.
New News.
Dropped his exclusive draft day story with Nagy and Reid. That was
That was big.
Epic. Loved every second of hearing that one, especially knowing the two guys. Revealed some origins of the bromance between me and him, that where it all started. And used our show as a part of his pickleball investment announcement. Told everybody what he was doing in the pickleball world, and sure enough, I'll probably be, trying to get on their team here shortly. I just got to get my skills together.
That has got to be one of the first things we're off-season activities. We're getting some pickleball in.
Got to.
Cannot wait to dominate all of you guys.
But that doesn't even tell you why he's the MVP. Like I said, you turn on that film, the guy's throwing the ball, no looks here, no looks there, breaking tackles, running around like a madman behind the line of scrimmage, throwing it across the field. You watch the Kansas City Chiefs play, and this team goes as that guy goes. Yeah. It is what it is. And he's the ultimate leader. He's the ultimate competitor in the building nonstop. If it's not football, he's competing in every single game or every single moment that he's in the building, whether it's saying who's going to win this college game or shooting hoops in the locker room, whatever it is, this guy's competing and wants to freaking win. And that drives the competitive circle and the competitiveness in the building. I see it every single day. And going into this season, there's a lot of people that didn't see this shit coming, like we said. And we did, though. We did, because we know the kind of competitor he is. We know the kind of person he is, how he's going to come into the building every single day with the team in mind, and how he is a vital part of that. And he's the most valuable person in that locker room. And because of that, he's the MVP.
Yeah. Well, it's a good case. So is Jalen Hurts. Either one of these guys winning it would be awesome. If there's one person that might not like the Stat Mahomes nickname, it might be Pat Mahomes. I feel like that's a guy that does not care about stats that much. He only cares about one stat.
What's that?
Wins.
Not right now. Get them dubs, baby.
Yeah. I think now's a good time for us to, I guess, do our own vote on the MVP award. You want to do it? Count of three? Right. Count of three? 1, 2, 3. Jalen.
Mahomes. What?
Right. Who didn't see that coming? All right. Well, I don't think we're going to be the people that determine who get this. So we'll let the experts I don't even know who decides on this, but
somebody who's qualified.
Somebody will pick it. All righty. We have one last newsie to hand out, but this one is not going to happen for a couple weeks. That is the New Heights stamp of the season.
It's a big one. It's
so big, we're not going to give it up until the season's over.
That's right.
Because it ain't over. We got a whole postseason coming on. That's I think it's part of the whole thing. So we're going to wait till everything's done. It's all finished, and we're going to include all of you guys. We would love to hear who you all think deserves the stamp of the season, Newsie. And we're going to open up to all of you. We're also going to open up what you think a Newsie should even look like, because we actually want to give these out.
Yeah, we have to.
We need something tangible and physical to give to people.
Yeah.
And obviously, Travis, you received a Newsie, so you'll receive one.
I can't wait.
Fans,
you guys got to make it special. You know what I mean?
Please design something that Travis will hate to have to display inside of his home.
Hate?
Yeah. Well, I want to be able to go in there and laugh at it.
What do you mean?
I want to go in there and laugh at your Newsie.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hate it.
That's selfish. Because I want Doug to have it also. That's a good point. I want Doug to have a great Newsie.
We got some guys, and we want Mac to enjoy this.
That's right.
He's not going to enjoy it.
He's not going to like it either way. All right, whatever. All righty. Well, we look forward to all of your thoughts on who deserves the stamp of the season Newsie and what a Newsie looks like.
Let's hear
That's it. That wraps it up, Trav. That's this episode. The bye-week episode is officially in. Feels good. It feels good to have the bye, even though we kind of,
my legs are already feeling better.
Legs are feeling better, but we kind of locked it up. It was almost like you're kissing your sister. It was kind of like, it wasn't the cleanest lockup of a first-round bye. But
that phrase was always
we'll
bogus.
Take it.
The phrase has always been bogus.
You prefer kissing your brother? It's like kissing your brother?
Yeah, there you go.
That's the 21st episode of New Heights. The show is old enough to drink now. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to the New Heights channel so you can follow on any new videos that come out. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you check out our official merch store at homage.com/New Heights.
You heard him, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, New Heights is a Jukes original presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. Make sure you follow the show on all social media platforms at New Heights Show 1S for fun clips throughout the week of this week's episode. And thanks to our production and crew. We thank you guys so much for everything you guys are doing. This thing isn't possible without you, and it sure as hell isn't as fun. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next week, baby.
Peace.